Kia and welcome to yet another. I forgot to switch on the Instagram feed, but hey, Kia people, and welcome to yet another live session from the beautiful city of Hamilton in New Zealand. This is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor, coming live like every Monday from the city of Hamilton. There's my license for those of you who follow me on Instagram and on Facebook and YouTube. You know the routine. I start by showing my license and then I get on with the session. So I know that it takes a while for people to join this particular session. And I request all of you joining on YouTube to and on Instagram to come onto the AJV Global page called AJV Global. So just go to Facebook and search for AJV Global, and you should be able to find the page, and you will see that the session is coming live. And I request all of you to come and join on the AJV Global page because makes my life a lot easier. I can see all your questions at one place instead of having to go to two, three different tabs. So that will be awesome. But please ensure that you are also leaving your contact number. And that is the give and take rules that we have in this particular session. Right now, we've realized now that we've done a lot of sessions, live sessions, not only myself, but my other licensed advisors in the company, Mary and Tulika and Navya. We also have another licensed advisor in the company called Shireen, who is based out of Malaysia. So she has not come done a live session yet, but hopefully she will join the bandwagon pretty soon. But yeah, we guys keep coming live practically every other day in the week, and we want to answer all your questions related to New Zealand education and migration. And we've been doing this successfully now for many, many weeks, months. It's almost a couple of years since I've been doing it. And this is my seventh live session in the year 2020. So from all this experience, we realized that it takes a while for people to come in and join and then start asking their questions. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to kickstart my session by talking about a particular type of inquiry that we keep getting quite regularly. And this is for people who would like to make an investment in New Zealand and want to create a pathway towards residency. So in my inbox right now, there are two inquiries sitting from two different people. Both of them are from India. I will obviously not take their names because they wrote to me in confidence about their desire to invest and create a future for themselves and the families in New Zealand. Now, both so the first gentleman has got a fantastic background. He's got about 17 to 18 years of experience in working in the financial sector, and he's worked as a senior manager, and he's got some fantastic profile. And so he has, clearly. And his CV is absolutely impressive. The kind of he's got critical strengths and competencies like corporate funding and fundraising, PE investments, credit debt debt syndication, deal origination and structuring, business restructuring, strategic consulting, equity research and valuation, so on and so forth. So a lot of these terms are something that I wouldn't fully understand or comprehend, but that's the kind of background that this gentleman has, and his wife's background is equally good, and so she's got about 7 years of experience in IT and non-IT kind of recruitment, and she's also done worked on technologies like Java and .NET and SharePoint and so on and so forth. So it's a fantastic profile of this particular couple, and they have written to me indicating that they would be keen to consider setting up a business in New Zealand or making a pathway into New Zealand through the pathway of investment. But thankfully, they've also mentioned that they're probably also open to a PhD or an investor. Now, coming to the second particular gentleman who is also quite keen to look at the it's for an entrepreneur visa, and he has also quite clearly mentioned that that he is looking for an entrepreneur visa in New Zealand, and he has mentioned that he would be willing to make an investment of a particular sum of amount in New Zealand, and is willing to work towards residency through this. So he is very clearly looking at an entrepreneurial or PhD sort of a route. Now, I wanted to kind of quickly stress upon the fact that the word investor and entrepreneur are kind of interchanged from some of the people who reach out to me for information about, hey, look, I want to make an investment in New Zealand, or I want to be an entrepreneur in New Zealand, and does work towards my residency. Now, the problem with that is that as a layperson, you will probably interchange the words entrepreneur and investor, but in the parlance of the immigration in New Zealand, for us, they are two very different words, because we have something called the investor category of a visa, and then we have something called an entrepreneur category of a visa. So for us, for people, professionals like myself and my colleagues, and the immigration department of New Zealand who deal with this particular subject, for us, these are two distinctly separate categories. Now, for instance, within the investor category, so to speak, are again two subcategories. So there is something called investor one and investor two. So investor one is where somebody has got funds of $10 million or above. Now, these funds need to be legally, owned by the person who is willing to apply. So that is investor one category, that you need to have funds of $10 million or over. And if you have that kind of legally earned money, which you can clearly demonstrate belongs to you and was earned legitimately, then you could fall under the investor one category. And it is a reasonably straightforward category. So there are not too many hoops you have to jump through. But if you do not have $10 million, and you have, let's say, between 3 million to $9.75 million of investment to make in New Zealand, and this is not to set up a business, this is just to get this money and invest it into an acceptable investment in New Zealand, which could be either government bonds, and there are a few categories, or you could invest it into shares in New Zealand, in listed companies, and so on and so forth. So there are certain ways. So investor category one means you need to have $10 million or above, or investor category two means that you need to have 3 to $9.75 million of legally earned funds. So for investor one category, the pathway is reasonably simple. For investor category two, the pathway is okay. I mean, it's not as simple as the investor one category, because they're coming in with a higher investment. So, but both these categories are possible for people who have $10 million and come under investor one, or who have 3 million to 9.75 million and come under the category investor category two. Of course, it goes without saying that you need to have good health and character, and that's like a common thing for each and every particular category, whether it is investor or skilled or whatever. So people who want to set up a business in New Zealand will come under something called the entrepreneur category. Now, this is not a straightforward category, and this particular category will uh, actually go to a particular division inside Immigration New Zealand, which is like, it's called the business migration unit, and so you will. It's quite complex, this particular pathway. In fact, I remember back in the day we used to have something called the LTBV, which was the long-term business visa, and people came, and and so you'll have to create um, business plan. You have to show you that you have the funds for this. You need to have a minimum of $100,000, and so on and so forth. But because the investment is not very high, the number of things you need to do to satisfy a business specialist in the immigration department is much more. It is quite complex. And as an advisor, when people come to me and ask me to say, I get a lot of inquiries from people saying, "Hey, look, I have." About $300,000 or $400,000, and I would like to start a business in New Zealand, and then eventually move to residency. I am a little, on the back foot in trying to convince them to move forward with this entrepreneur category because number one, you will not be in the country when you are kind of creating this business plans. You're talking to somebody like us who is based in New Zealand. We're working in two different time zones, and like I said, it is the entrepreneur category is quite complex as compared to the investor category. But then for the investor category, you require a lot of money, like 10 million for the category one or 3 to 9.75 million for category two. But when it comes to now the entrepreneur category, you might have your 300, $400,000. But the kind of scrutiny they will do about your business plan, about your experience, and so on and so forth. There is an English requirement, and so on and so forth. It gets quite complex, and I am a little apprehensive to invite some of these people who inquire to start the process of the entrepreneur category because I know it's going to take a long time. I know it's going to be very complex, and we will charge you a fair bit of money because a lot of our time and effort goes into it, and which is why I'm a little apprehensive as an advisor who is brutally honest and fair and frank and friendly always with all my people who are seeking my particular advice. I would recommend that in situations like this where you have a desire to set up a business in New Zealand and you have three or $400,000 of investment to make. Again, see, I don't want to use the word investment and confuse you with the investor category. Okay, if you have capital of three or $400,000 to make, and you're keen to set up a business in New Zealand, my suggestion is you first need to be present in the country on a legitimate visa, which gives you time uh, to study the market here in New Zealand and kind of get an understanding of what the New Zealand market is all about. Create your network. And then you can come and speak to your advisor on a one-on-one basis because now you are based in New Zealand. And how do you do that? Simple suggestion in both these particular instances which I have seen, both where both these gentlemen have asked me for helping them to come to New Zealand through the entrepreneur category. The solution is simple. Both your wives also have fantastic backgrounds, so I would like to encourage you to consider that your spouse comes on a master's course here into New Zealand, and in doing that, you as the husband or the partner will be eligible for a work visa. Now, while while your wife is studying, you will get a 1 year work visa, and once she completes the course, she will get a 3 years post study work visa, and you will also get a 3 years extension to your partner work visa. So essentially, you have 4 years in New Zealand. You still have the money with you, the money that you would have paid me as your advisor and for doing your entrepreneur category visa. Instead, I'm suggesting that you divert it towards a master's for your wife because that will give you 4 years of stay in New Zealand. You might even work for 1 year in New Zealand before you jump into business. And in that 1 year, you might want to enter into the industry that you eventually seek to set up a business in. And after that 1 year of experience where you're also earning your investment back, then you'll be in a position to go ahead and set up your business. And the beauty of coming to New Zealand as a partner with a work visa is that particular work visa also allows you to set up a business and be self-employed. So that is my sincere suggestion to both these gentlemen. And I, in fact, requested one of them to listen to this particular live session because trying to explain this through emails gets very complex, and it can only be done through a face-to-face conversation like this. I mean, yeah, sure, you're not able to answer back at this point, but so it's important that you understand how it has to be done. So if you do not have access to 10 million and you can't be investor one, if you don't have access to 3 million and you can't be investor two, and you only have 300 or $400,000 and you want to come and set up a business in New Zealand as an entrepreneur, then I actually discourage you to do that because I think it will be a waste of your time, money, and effort. Instead, send your wife here for a master's. Come here knowing you'll have 4 years with a work visa to come study the market, work actually, earn your investment back that you spent towards education of your spouse, And then once you understand and settle in, and that's when you start your business journey. So that is my very sincere advice to people who would like to start a business in New Zealand with 100,000 or 200,000 or $300,000. Make that investment first into the studies of your spouse, and you come along and stay legitimately in New Zealand and examine the pros and cons of actually setting up a business, and then take it forward from there. So yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a long uh, explanation, but a lot of we get a lot of queries from people saying, "Hey, look, I have $200,000, I have $300,000, and will you help me to get an entrepreneur visa?" And as I told you, I'm apprehensive because $200,000, $300,000 is also a lot of money. That's your hard-earned money, and I don't want you to lose it. Nor do we want to earn that consulting money when we are only 50% sure that you will actually end up with that entrepreneur visa. Instead, we're giving you a better option of being present in the country on a legitimate work visa that also allows you to be self-employed and set up a business. So hope that makes sense. So instead of paying that money consulting fees to us, invest that into the studies of your wife, and you can come along and be here and study the market and set up your business. All right. And I'm making this slightly long video because for me to keep explaining this to every person 10 or 15 minutes on a phone call means that I actually charge for my advice. So instead of what I at the rate of $300 an hour, so what I'm doing is just making this video, and henceforth my team will share it with anybody who seeks an entrepreneur category visa and who keep confusing it with investor category visa. So I hope that is all clear. Right. That was a nice long explanation. And I'm going to catch my breath for a while and see if there are any questions. So, my wonderful, awesome team is also supporting me as always on Skype, although they are a little quiet, it seems. And somebody sent me something about some security check. Well, I hope they sort it out while I'm going on continuing with my thing. Okay. Now, the other thing my team wanted me to talk about when we got started on this particular session, and we said because, or maybe I'll just hold it back for my next session because let me check to see if there are any questions here. Yeah, quite a few questions. So I will get on with answering these questions and answers. And my wonderful team, Sai, who is our relationship and marketing manager, and his team, and their boss, Nishanti, they all were quite keen that I start off by. So these guys have come out with a very good strategy now for all our live sessions. They want us, myself, Mary, Tulika, and Navya, to talk about one institution every week when we come live, because most of our clients are students and they are very keen to. So today they asked me to talk about AUT, so I will talk about AUT. I thought I'll answer the questions, but they'll probably all have a rebellion against me because I promised them I'll talk to them about AUT. They also asked me to. They've also given me some points about AUT, saying, "Could you please elaborate on these points and speak about AUT?" Right. So about the institution, AUT stands for AUT University. Earlier it was AUT, which stood for Auckland University of Technology, but later they rebranded and now they call themselves AUT University. It is one of the youngest universities in New Zealand. I believe it was established in 2000, in the year 2000. And but the fact is it existed way before that. It was actually set up as an technical institute in the year 1895. So that's a very old institution that eventually got the status of becoming a university, and it was started specifically with focus on imparting technology skills to people in and around Auckland. So that is the origin of the particular university. So although it is young, it has got some fantastic achievements at the global ranking level. So it is just, I'm reading this off their website, to be honest, and it says they are number one in New Zealand for global research impact. They're number one in New Zealand for international outlook. They're number one in New Zealand for health subjects. They are number one millennial university in Australasia and number 14 in the world. So that's fantastic. So if you compare all the universities that were set up from the year 2000 onwards, so AUT University is at number 14, which is a fantastic ranking for any. And they're also in the top 30 worldwide for sport, top 75 worldwide for hospitality and leisure management, and top 100 worldwide for art and design, and they are number 16 worldwide for social impact. So you can see that, although it is a relatively new university, although the pedigree goes back all the way to 1895, it is a fantastic university. So I'll move away from just reading of the website and give some of my own personal insights into what this university is all about. My team and I, we have been sending students to study at AUT all the way back from 2004. So we've had a great relationship with AUT University while it was still Auckland University of Technology. And we've had a great relationship with them, and our students who have gone there to AUT have done really, really well. So I'm yet to think of a single student who has not done well, who has gone to AUT University. And isn't that what you're really looking for? Is that when you go to an institution and you study there, you want to have good outcomes. So I can tell you from our past track record that these students who have gone to AUT University have done really well. Okay, I also did a little bit of research to see what kind of subjects our students have chosen when they have gone to study at AUT University. And the top subjects our students have gone to is engineering, applied finance, business, with somehow there seems to be a special focus on accounting, communication subjects, construction management, information technology, especially in analytics and information science, international tourism management, hospitality management, health sciences, applied language studies, not too many, but we've had a few students going for that, and applied science. So those are the top sort of the subjects and courses that our students, and I'm talking about AJV students, have chosen over the last 2 or 3 years. So instead of me trying to tell you which are the popular courses, I actually just reeled off the particular subject areas where our students are actually going. And I can tell you over the last 3 4 years, I haven't heard of a single student who's had any kind of an adverse comment about AUT or not had a good outcome. And I remember a lot of these students have gone on and found fantastic jobs, and they've also established themselves as residents in New Zealand. So absolutely top marks to AUT. I would strongly endorse it. So about, I think, a month and a half ago, Mary and my colleague Mary and I, we both went to AUT, and we met the director of marketing, and we met one of their senior managers called Marcel Fletcher, and we met their director of marketing as well. Very, very friendly people, and they took us around and gave us a little bit of a campus tour and stuff like that. And I was very impressed with the kind of involvement they have with their students, whether it is domestic or international. So I came back with a very strong positive feeling about the kind of engagement that they're having with their students. So top marks for that as well. Job outcomes have been fantastic. And because this is right in the heart of the city in Auckland, part-time job opportunities also will be very good for students because, Auckland is a bustling city. It is the largest city in New Zealand for us. And so, absolutely good opportunities for, sure, part-time work. Like I said, job outcomes are good. And what's the English requirement is another thing my team wants to talk about. So when I did this research about AUT and where our students have been going, I also realized that most of them are going for a postgraduate diploma or a master's. So which is obviously they're all opting to go for the PG postgraduate level. And so if you are looking to doing a postgraduate level at AUT University, then you'll require a 6.5 in IELTS with no band score less than 6 or the equivalent in PTE or TOEFL. So from a PR point of view, from a residence future long-term residence point of view. Like I said, I am yet to hear of any of my students who has studied at AUT and has suffered to in finding a job or not being able to move on to the resident point of view. So, like I said, all these subjects that I just reeled out, whether it's engineering or IT or health sciences or what have you, most of them have gone on to find jobs and settle down. So the chances of finding residency and PR are good. Of course, you will have AJB to guide you at each and every step. Main industries, again, I'm just linking it back to the subjects I talked about, but all these industries are present in Auckland. So it's pretty much the same industries as the subjects that I talked about. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then they asked me they also want me to talk a little bit about partnership visas, and we are beginning to get faster outcomes for our partnership visas. And if you guys go to our Facebook page or Facebook group, you will see that there is a lot of good reviews being posted by our clients who are saying, "Hey, look, thank you for the effort you put in, and our partnership visas are coming through." Okay, cool. So yeah, a bit of a slightly longish introduction today, but I had to discuss that investor category. Sorry, the investor slash entrepreneur category, which a lot of people confuse. So, anyhow, moving on. First questions from Tejas Mystery says today my wife emailed Mary and asking regarding further processing after 6 months a visitor visa. Right now, I'm in New Zealand. Hey Tejas, if you're already emailed. Mary and you're going to talk to her, I'd recommend you do that. We have set up a toll-free number called 0800. There you go. Time for my little board to come out. So if you can call us on this particular number tomorrow, 0800 which is 0800 my NZPR on the dial pad. So yeah, Tejas, if you're already in New Zealand and you are looking at what you want to do after your further process after 6 months, it'll be best you speak to Mary, who is our licensed immigration advisor and a fantastic advisor. Give her a call and have a chat with her tomorrow, and she'll be able to advise you. All right, cool. Because I can't obviously comment unless until we have some facts of your case, and then based on that, we'll be able to take it forward. Right. So next question is from Fernando, and he says, "Hello, I'm from Sri Lanka, and I am currently doing my degree, computing and information systems in Government University. Do I complete remaining years in New Zealand?" Okay, good question, Fernando, because there are certain institutions in New Zealand, whether it's universities or institutes of technology, which are willing to cross credit your learning from your country and see whether that matches the equivalent of having studied 1 or 2 years here in New Zealand. And there is a possibility that they will recognize it. It's called RPL, which is recognition of prior learning, and they will be able to take away 1 or 2 years of study and maybe put you into the final year. But like I said, we'll need to kind of get it a bit more into the details of what was this institution which you studied, what kind of scores you got, and so on and so forth. So, at the very broad level, yes, it is possible for recognition of prior learning or cross crediting and being able to go directly into the final year or the second year. So, that possibility certainly exists. But till we get your documents and we are able to assess everything clearly, we will not be able to answer you. So may I request you to send all your documents, which is your passport copy and your transcripts, your mark sheets from the first 1 or 2 years that you've completed, and send it to info@ajvglobal.com, and it'll go to one of our advisors. We will read it, go through it, and then give you a call. Because thank you for sharing your number. We will give you a call and we will advise you what's your next step forward. All right. Thanks, Fernando. Always a pleasure to speak to our Sri Lankan friends. Aibawan. Yeah. Ahmed Mahfouz says, "Hello, I'm AJB student. My advisor name is Ruben Williams. I applied graduate diploma in health and rehabilitation. Any update about my offer letter? Are they starting to give offer letter?" Hey, Ahmed, first and foremost, thank you so much for choosing to work with AJB. Much appreciated. As a young, intelligent person, you have a lot of choices about which advisor to go to, but you chose to come to us, and for that, we will always be grateful, and I promise you the best advice and support that we can give you. Ahmad, as the guy who started this company, and the rest of my wonderful team, who all are founders of this company. It is not just me, all of us, all 40 of us, 40 of us make this company. So it can never be one individual. So yeah, about your, what's the status of your offer letter, Ahmad, I wouldn't be able to comment, but I'll see if there is any update from Ruben. Right. So yes, Ruben has quite quickly given me, saying that they have applied to Toyo Homoi, and you should have your offer of place in a week's time. So yeah, you should be able to get your offer very soon. Normal time frame to get an offer from institutions in New Zealand is about 4 to 6 weeks, but Ruben is quite confident. He just shared with me on our team Skype chat that he expects your offer in about a week's time. All right, Ahmed. So hang in there. I don't know which intake you haven't mentioned that, but if it is for the July intake, it's good. You're already moving forward, and yeah, we should be able to get that offer for you in place soon, and which will allow you to go on with getting your visa documents into place. Excellent. Moving on. Isuru Pinto says, I was planning to apply for, I guess you mean to say accredited employer who visa, but due to not release today, do you think I'll be still be able to apply? I don't know, Isuru. Again, it is very difficult for us to just make a general statement without knowing what is your background, who is this accredited employer, there will be certain other requirements. So we will need to take a look to see what exactly is your background and few other details, and only then we will be able to advise you whether it is worthwhile to proceed or not to proceed. I'm wondering if you're talking about the prioritization of the migrant category that they have made today, which is, I think, what you're referring to about the prioritization of, I think, the Christchurch response people of the Christchurch massacre are going to get first priority, followed by skilled migrant category people. But again, inside that, they're going to prioritize people who are getting, 106,000 and above of salary. Per year, and then I think the second category. So I did go through it briefly. I didn't delve very strongly into it. But like I said, accredited employers and people who apply through accredited employers are always also quite strongly favored because accredited employers means that they have already exhibited a genuine shortage of workers in their, excuse me, particular industry or company, and hence they got the accreditation to be able to make offers of jobs to people like yourself. So, but you will need to share your number, and or if you're already in New Zealand, call 0800. There you go. You can call that number 0800, holding it high so that people on there you go for Instagram. So call 0800 696977 and speak to my colleague Mary. She is the one who receives calls on that particular number. Have a chat with her. She starts work around 10 in the morning and she's there till about 5:30 in the evening. But we will need more information before I can tell you whether it is a good thing or a bad thing for you to go ahead. But by and large, as I keep saying, accredited people applying with accredited employers are always also favored, so to speak. Yeah. Okay. Deepak Sharma has shared his number and says, I'm trying to call you on WhatsApp. Please pick call. Hey, Deepak, I'm not on WhatsApp, so I don't know how you try to call me because I've never used WhatsApp in my life. I have not once in my life I have used WhatsApp, to be honest, except maybe from my kids' phones because they keep calling their friends and relatives all across the world on WhatsApp. But I have never ever had WhatsApp on my phone, so I don't know where you're trying to call me. Could I suggest that you are based in 00968? So, which country is that? 00968? Is that Dubai or? or one of the Middle Eastern countries, or is it Singapore? 00968 is country code. Let's see which one this is. Yep, you are based in Oman. I would say I was pretty on to it when I say 00968. So you are we are not. I'm not on WhatsApp, Deepak. But could I request you to go to our website, ajvglobal.com, and on our team page, there are the numbers of each and every uh, advisor based in our company. And one of my advisors called Shireen, who is based in Malaysia, looks after all the inquiries from the Middle East. So if Deepak, if you could please get onto our website and pick up, I could actually check it for you while we're talking. So Shireen's number will be there on our website, and so just give her a call. Shireen is based in Malaysia, by the way. So by the time I think she probably is still at work right now. But yeah, her number is definitely there on our website under the team tab. So give Shireen a call. She is also a licensed immigration advisor, just like myself. So as a part of our internal process in the company. I rarely ever receive direct phone calls from inquirers because I will not be doing an application anyway. I have so many other things to deal with. So please, and which is the reason we have built up such a solid, phenomenal team of people. Even if I'm saying it myself, but we have five licensed advisors in the company, and then we have about six or seven ex-immigration officers, and then so many other fantastic professionals in New Zealand, Malaysia, India, Oman. There's actually one of our colleagues in Oman as well. So, but she does more of the service side of things, which is the processing. But have a chat with Noella because she is in the same country as where you are. And then we have another colleague who's based in UK, and I am right now in the process of increasing our footprint across the world a bit more. And so that's the reason I would strongly urge you to pick up the phone and talk to Shireen, or pick up the phone and speak to Noella because she's in Oman and she will connect you to Shireen. All right. But just go to our website and you do that, Matt. All right. Cool. And don't try to call me on WhatsApp because I'm not on WhatsApp. All right. Wasim Parker, you asked me a question, but you have not shared your number. So I will not be able to answer that, Wasim. You will have to share your number, Matt. Swapnil Pandya also asked a question. Again, there is no number. So Swapnil, you will have to answer. You'll have to share your number. So I think, guys, I made the rules very clear. If you are an AGB client, say to say you're an AGB client. If you're not an AGB client, please share your number because that's the least we need to get back in return for giving you all this free information, which I normally charge under other circumstances, because these live sessions have become sort of a mainstay and a unique selling proposition, or a unique selling feature of Team AJV. I come on and keep doing this, but really, guys, I'll need your number back as well. Okay, cool. Kunjan asked me a question. Kunjan, again, no number. So then there is a gentleman, I can't read his name because it's in Punjabi. Says, I want to migrate in New Zealand with family. Please share your number, Sardarji, and we will absolutely get in touch with you and advise you how you and your family can migrate. Okay, so Abnel's come back. Uh, Right. Then there's another question from Purav, Sanjay, but again, no numbers. I will not be answering that. Tejas has, I've already given him his answer. Rajesh Singh, okay, there we go. Finally, somebody shares his number. Rajesh shares his number and says, can we have email ID to share things? Yeah, absolutely, Rajesh. You just send an email to info@agvglobal.com. That is a common email address that we all have, info@agvglobal.com. And if it is something that requires my attention, it will get directed to me. If it requires the attention of one of our team leaders, it will go to one of our team leaders. If it deserves the attention of somebody else in our team, it will go to that. So that's the simple email address, Rajesh, is info@ajvglobal.com. But since you've shared your number, our team will get in touch with you anyway. And whatever doubts and queries you have, they will clear it for you. Absolutely no problem. I'm going to take a small break, have a little bit of. So, Neha, you have to tell me if Swapnil Pandey is or Pandya is already one of our. Okay, so she confirms, Swapnil, that we have Swapnil, but the surname is different, and it's not Pandya and Shah, So one of my colleagues says, yeah, and yeah, the gentleman from Oman. Sorry, what was his name? I'm gonna scroll up. Ah, Deepak Sharma. Okay, Deepak, if you're still around and listening to this broadcast, Shireen is also still around in Malaysia. She's still at work, and she's told me that you can connect with her on WhatsApps, and her number is there on our website. All right, so just go for that. Okay, cool. Okay, now here is somebody called Sony Rohan who says, and he very proudly says he's an AJVian. Thank you, Sony. And he says AJV is equal to visa success. Hey, thanks so much, Sony, for that. Amazing. I mean, obviously you've and he goes on to say, thank you so much, AJV team. Sony got her visa within 16 days and without visa interview. Today, I got my partnership visa. Wow, fantastic, Sony and Rohan. Many, many congratulations. It was lovely to hear from you guys. I'm so happy for you personally because it is very cool for a couple to be able to travel together. So, yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much for choosing to be part of AJB's family, and you will now formally get inducted into the family once you reach New Zealand. I look forward to meeting you both. But thank you so much for your wonderful feedback. If you have the time, I would be so delighted if you could also copy your feedback to our Facebook page on the reviews, and also to our Google listing. If you just go to Google and type AJV services, you will get our listing on the right hand side. So just go and paste your review. But okay, I had to do a little plug for my reviews. But moving on from that, Sony and Rohan, very, very happy for you both. Warm welcome to New Zealand. Haere Maiki Aotearoa. And I look forward to meeting you both here very soon. All right, cool. Oh. Ahmad comes back and says, nowadays I can understand my advisor Ruben was right. You told me graduate diploma have good job opportunities in contrast to masters. Okay. To be honest, I like your advice and suggestion. Love to work with AJV. Thanks, Ahmad. And so that's us. That's us. That's who we are at AJV. Is we are honest people. We are brutally honest sometimes. We will tell you if we think you're not good enough, and we tell you don't waste your money, time, and effort in trying to come to New Zealand. So, yeah, yeah, and which is why we will actually make a lot more money in our commission if we send you to a master's course, and that is the truth. But we will not do that to earn our money, to earn more money from our students. We will assess the quality of each of our students and see whether is this person good enough for a PhD, is this person good enough for a master's, is this person good enough for a PG diploma, so on and so forth. And in that particular subject, is it important to go for a master's, or in that particular subject, is it important to go for a graduate diploma or so? So that's the kind of analysis we do, Ahmad. And I'm glad you realized that. We will always give you the right advice, and I promise you, as the guy who started this company, that we will always keep the interest of our clients ahead of our profits. That's a word from me to everybody who listens to our broadcasts, and my entire team works like that. We never ever think of our commission or our fees in the first instance. We always think about you, and then based on your profile, we will send you to wherever is the best opportunity for you and the best chance of success for you. So thanks for recognizing that and pasting it onto this chat. Really appreciate that. Okay. Right, Wasim. Wasim says, sorry, wasn't comfortable sharing my number here, but I'm happy to get in touch with your team directly. Thank you, Wasim. Much appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that you're sharing your number. You could also inbox me directly on Facebook if you want. Go, just go to my profile and send me a message. Even if you're not connected as friends, it will come and sit in my message requests, which I check quite regularly. Or if I'm a little busy, somebody in my team will always check, and we will get in touch. So, Vasim, I understand some of you, some of us are not. I'm not very comfortable sharing my number in public either. So I completely understand that. Do share your number, and one of our team members will get in touch with you, and we will give you the best advice. Do not worry about thinking, oh, but it's not advice I'm getting from Arun, because this company is way beyond this single individual called Arun. It has gone to a different level of competency altogether. We have people in the company who can teach me a thing or two about New Zealand immigration. So there's a kind of depth of expertise and experience and knowledge we have built into this company. So anybody talking to anybody in my team, you guys are absolutely in safe hands. So please go for it. And Wasim, if you want to call us, I don't know which country or place you're based in, but if you're based in India, you can call us on this 0800 number. Sorry, toll free number 1-800 number in India. If you're based in India, if you're not based in India, just inbox your number to me, and we will pick it up and we will call you back. All right, cool. Right, Kunjan has also come back and shared her number, so I will have to scroll back to Kunjan's number. Kunjan is based in India, from what I can say. My team is awfully quiet today. They're not giving me a lot of things to talk about. Well, or they started off on. So I'm kind of just scrolling back up to see if I can have answer Kunjan's query, because I promised Kunjan if she shares her number, I will answer her query. So Kunjan's query was, "Hi Arun, is it possible to fast track the SMC visa since my husband has applied on December 2018?" Kunjan, it is, I think only today they came out with a new sort of, what do I put, the prioritization they're going to do to allocate and process skilled migrant category visa. So, skilled migrant category is not the top priority. It is the Christchurch response 2019. Those visa applications are the top priority. Second is skilled migrant category. And in the skilled migrant category, the ones that are going to be prioritized are those who are going to get an hourly rate of $51 or above, which comes to approximately $106,000 and a little bit more than that. So they will be prioritized, or people who have occupational registration and need occupational registration as part of the job or occupation that they're doing. So within SMC, that is the prioritization that your application will be taken through. So I'm not sure if your husband will fall into either one of these priority queues, because if he falls into either one of these priority queues, then of course there is a chance for fast tracking that particular application. But otherwise, you just have to be patient and wait if you do not fall into either one of these priority queues within the SMC category. All right, Kunjan. Hope I have answered it. If you're still in doubt and you're not sure what it is that I explained, just pick up the phone, give a call, and on 1-8. So that our number, toll free number in India is 1-800-103-6525. So just give a call to this number and request to speak to one of our licensed advisors in India. So there's Tulika Mehra and Navya Sikka. Both of them are based in Delhi. And yeah, they will be able to explain to you further what exactly the new instructions mean. Okay, cool. Right, Wajid Rahman has joined in and he says, "Hi, hello, Wajid, Kia ora, my friend, Ketapefia Kwe," which is how are you? But that was it. It just says a hi, and there is nothing else following up after that. So, and I'm seem to have run out of questions. I did pretty well. I know I not only gave a very long explanation about what the entrepreneur visa and how it relates to the investor category visa. And then I followed it up by another longish introduction of AUT University. And then I answered all these questions, but looks like either I've been speaking really fast today, or there are not enough people watching and want to ask their questions. So, my wonderful team, if there are any of your clients to whom you want me to answer any particular questions that they may be asking about, I would be happy to answer. If some of you want to jump in, I still have, I think, approximately 10 odd minutes left to close this particular session. Of course, I will close it if there are no other questions coming. But if anybody from my team has got a particular client asking some question which you are not able to answer and you would want it from me, I'm happy to answer that. But otherwise, I hope I have covered everything else. Okay, I'm catching my breath again as always, and I am going to ramble for a while to see if there are any other questions. So Kunjan says, thank you. I will call for sure. Yes, Kunjan, please call and speak to. I don't know who was your advisor when your husband launched his application, but yeah, I mean, if you're coming and speaking to us, you obviously trust the advice that we are providing to our clients. So yeah, we would be delighted to speak to you and see if there is some anything at all that we can do for you. Okay, so nothing, a lot of not a lot of action happening on the live chat. I don't know if there were any questions in YouTube, which my team has not pasted here. Looks like they have done it already. Okay. Yeah, brilliant. Looks like I covered everything. So what's happening is I am off to Christchurch very shortly. I am going to play. Sorry, I'm not going to play. I'm going to go to watch the second test match between India and New Zealand. And this is not because I'm going to, I'm shirking my work and going to watch a cricket match, but I'm trying pretty hard to see, and this is as much for my team as anybody else. So, for those of you who have been watching the India New Zealand series, including the one dayers and the T20s and the test matches, we now have our very impressive AJV board at Sidon Park in Hamilton. So I am negotiating with the ground in Christchurch as well to see if we can have an AJV logo and a message during the Christchurch test match. So fingers crossed on that one. I'm still negotiating with New Zealand cricket. But yeah, we hope to this year go on to grow our visibility in the market, because we see a lot of clients who come into New Zealand and then they come across us and they say, oh, I should have known about you guys before I came to New Zealand. I would have definitely worked with you. So looks like we people like us after they find us, but they're not finding us on time, and which is why a lot of them are still coming to New Zealand through other agencies and missing out on those very, very unique advantages you will have with working with AJB. And again, to know all these different advantages, all you've got to do is go to our website and you will see that on our services page, you will, if you scroll down, there is a whole section which talks about the advantages of working with AJV. And I mean, I'm not saying it because it's our company and I'm sort of the guy who started this company, but I genuinely think that we as a company are doing so much more for prospective students and migrants who come to New Zealand, and because this company is built on the experiences of people like myself and Mary and a lot of our other colleagues in the team who are also migrants. And so we're putting together everything that we believe that a client would want, because going overseas is such a critical decision in a person's life and a family's life. And I think it is important that they give an honest advice and very good service, which will exceed their expectations. So that is really the sort of path that AJB is on at the moment, and we hope that more and more of you will get to know of us before you start your journey to New Zealand and choose to work with us. Hence, my trip to Christchurch to negotiate with New Zealand cricket and see if I can put up one of our signboards at the test match, the last test match in Christchurch as well. And hopefully millions and millions of people will see that particular signboard and get curious and go on to Google and ask, so what is AJV Global? And hopefully you'll come to our website and then you'll see how we are and you will decide to work with us. All right, guys. So yeah, like I said, if you find, I keep saying this, and I'm not out of pride, but out of very strong conviction that we are doing so many things right for our clients. So if you find a better company than AJV to come to New Zealand, please go to them. We will have no complaints about that particular thing. But if you can't find a better company than AJV, then come to AJV and work with us. Right. So there's one last comment that has come in before. Oh, no, there's actually a little couple of them. So one is from Vinayak Nilajkar, who says, hello, sir. I received my AIP last week and now working on further things. Thanks a lot to whole team. AJV, see you soon. Hey, Vinayak, we can't get better news than that, my friend. So many congratulations on receiving your approval in principle, and the team will help you to complete the rest of the process as well. And I'm sure I will see you here in New Zealand soon. I hope you're coming to Hamilton, and I would love to catch up with you and yeah, meet you in person. But many congratulations. If you have the time, Vinayak, I would request you to please go to our Facebook page and leave a review in the review section, or go to our Google listing. Just go to Google and type AJV Global, and you'll get the Google listing on the right. So leave a review there. I'd be very pleased personally if you can do that, and I'll be very happy for you and look forward to seeing you here in New Zealand soon. Safe travels, Vinayak, and yeah, I'm sure we will catch up here very soon. All right, cool. Kritika Dave asks me, hi sir, can we invest in small business in New Zealand? This is very ironical that I have to, end the session with exactly the same question which I discussed at length at the start of this particular session. Kritika, please. Okay, number one, you will need to share your number for us to be able to give you more advice on what you intend to do. But to understand how you can start a business in New Zealand, and what is my personal suggestion to all you budding entrepreneurs who want to do some business in New Zealand, I request you to wait till this live session is over and go all the way back to the starting of this session, because it will become a recording and it will sit there on Facebook and on YouTube. Because in the first 10 minutes, all I spoke about was about that particular topic, Kritika. I was speaking about how it is probably not such a good pathway to consider coming to New Zealand through the entrepreneur category, and how we could potentially create other pathways into New Zealand. So please go back, rewind this entire video once it becomes a video and sits on Facebook or YouTube, and you should get your answer, Kritika. And then once you get that answer and you want to take it forward, just get in touch with our team. And one last time, I'm going to hold up our contact details. So you can contact us at either one of these places. So we have teams in India and New Zealand. We also have a team in Malaysia, and there I'm just holding it up so that people on Instagram can also get it. So all of you who are wanting to contact us from different parts of the world, just go to our website and check contact, and in the contact there will be all the contact details. Or if you go to our team, a page on our website, then all the individual numbers of all our team members are there as well. All right. So cool. Looks like I've reached the end of my session, which time for the bell to come out and ring it bye bye. But yeah, lovely as always to do my live sessions. I hope I'll be able to do it next Monday, because I'm coming back from Christchurch only on Monday. If I'm back in time, I'll be able to do one. But otherwise, hopefully one of my team members will step in for me, and I can come back. Right, and then hopefully I will do a session sometime next week. But hopefully I'd like to do Mondays, because I do like to kickstart my Mondays with these live sessions, because it kind of builds up that energy for the rest of the week. All right, people. Thank you so much as always for watching my live broadcasts on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And once this becomes a video, please share it with your family and friends, because I frankly think nobody gives you better advice or more honest advice about moving to New Zealand in a friendly and frank manner that Team AJB does. All right. So till the next time, Take care of yourselves, keep smiling, and I shall see you again next week. Good night.